So I feel like AI is the first new technology where whenever someone tries to tell you what it can do, it always just sounds like a threat. Like when the iPod came out, people were like, hey, you can put all of your songs on this thing. Or when like the iPhone came out, people were like, hey, you can put all these apps on this thing. But with AI, people are just like, you're gonna lose your fucking job. Yeah, that's right. AI is gonna take your fucking job. It's gonna make you totally obsolete, and AI is going to marry your granddaughter. And by the way, that last one, it wasn't just like a random example I made up to be funny. That was like a real thing Gary Vee said.
Your grandkids will marry an AI human.
And what's your conviction level on that?
100%.
That they're going to marry an
That
AI?
your grandchild is going to marry an AI human.
Also, neither here nor there, but remember when Gary Vee was like all in on NFTs a few years back? Whatever happened to that? It's like, hey Gary, how is my granddaughter gonna marry an AI when she's already married to an NFT? Does she divorce the NFT for the AI? Like, how does that work? But the point is, AI is coming for your job no matter what you do. And nowhere is that more true than in like the entertainment industry. Like, entertainment executives are constantly talking about how AI is coming and it's gonna replace everyone except them, obviously, but it's gonna replace everyone else. Like, at this point, I just picture entertainment executives like holding a gun to a screenwriter's head while they furiously type out a script like, oh, just you wait until AI gets here. Once AI gets here, I'm gonna pull this trigger and, oh no, please don't stop typing. AI isn't quite there yet, so we still need you. But as soon as AI gets here, it's bang, 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 bang. But luckily for me, I don't have to worry about that because I'm a comedy writer. So call me when AI can make a comedy sitcom.
Hey, honey, have you seen the kid I hired to paint our porch? All done. By the way, that was a BMW, not a Porsche.
Oh fuck, AI can make a comedy sitcom. That's right, AI is making sitcoms now.
Can I ask you a question about the menu, please?
The men I please are none of your business.
So I guess for me, the bad news is AI is making sitcoms. The good news is those sitcoms are weird as hell.
You have a name yet? Yes.
Steve.
Oh, that's a lovely name.
Thanks, but what do you think we should call the baby?
I hate how proud AI Steve is after nailing his punchline. Did you see that?
Thanks, but what do you think we should call the baby?
He's like, thanks, but what should we call the baby?
It's just sad. Nothing's made in the U.S. anymore.
Oh.
Even this one says built-in antenna.
So?
I don't even know where that is.
Damn, crazy how even the couples in AI sitcoms are still all ugly man with extremely hot wife. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
We've had reports from your neighbors that your dog was chasing a kid on a bike.
That's ridiculous. My dog doesn't even know how to ride a bike.
Did you notice how the cops laugh with the studio audience? Are they supposed to do that?
What kind of milk is that?
Soy milk.
Hola, milk. Soy dad.
I really don't like how the kid looks directly into camera when he says his line. I guess I should say when it says its line, because it's not a real person. I can't let the machines manipulate me.
Any last words? I wouldn't be shocked if that didn't work.
Okay, I get how the whole thing is like AI is making little snippets of sitcoms, but like, what sitcom would have a scene where a character is being strapped into an electric chair? That seems a little heavy for like a primetime CBS laugh track. Then again, the AI was probably inspired by that one episode of Friends. You know, the one where Chandler gives his number to that girl at the bus stop, and then it turns out that that girl is married to the chief of police, so Chandler is sentenced to death, and then Chandler is electrocuted, again, to death in the electric chair. I'm pretty sure the B storyline was like Ross buying a pair of jean shorts that don't really fit or something. But the point is, executions by the state, classic comedy, says AI at least.
The doctor said I can touch myself whenever I want.
No. He said you could have a stroke at any time.
Okay, what was this one? The guy's like, touch myself whenever I want. She's like, you can actually have a stroke at any time. So the joke in this one is that the guy thinks he can constantly masturbate whenever he gets the urge, but actually he has severe medical problems and is at constant risk of a stroke. Okay. The AI here is a little fucked up, no? Kind of a weird sensibility is emerging.
Hey, Dad, have you seen my sunglasses?
No, son, have you seen my dad glasses?
Okay, the dad glasses joke was funny. I actually might steal that.
This sofa will seat 5 people without any problems. Where am I going to find 5 people without any problems?
Okay, once again, the characters laugh at their own joke after making it. This seems to be like a reoccurring pattern. Do you think it's because like the AI was trained on watching other sitcoms, but like the AI thinks that like the laughter sound is coming from the characters and not the studio audience? Like, do you think when the AI is like processing an episode of Seinfeld, it thinks that the studio audience laughing is just Jerry, Kramer, Elaine, and George all laughing at the same time? Because I'm starting to think that might be what's going on.
So how do you prepare your chicken?
Nothing special, really. We just tell them they're going to die.
I want another baby.
That's a relief. I don't like this one either.
Alright, so the first 2 clips actually look like the same woman and the same man. So the implication is she married and had a baby with the dumb waiter from the first clip? I gotta be honest, I think she could do better. It's like, have some standards, ma'am.
Sir, you have an outstanding balance.
Oh, thanks. I did gymnastics as a kid.
Fuck, I also like the gymnastics joke. Damn it might be winning me over.
He died doing what he loved.
What was that?
Breathing. Couldn't quit cold turkey.
Okay, so we have yet another instance of the AI sitcom actor laughing at his own joke. I mean, its own joke. I won't let the machines manipulate me.
Quick, what's his blood type?
I can't remember.
Be positive.
I'm trying, Dad.
Okay, one thing I'm noticing is that a lot of these like little AI sitcoms seem to be taking place in hospitals, which I don't think is like a real genre of sitcom, right? Like a lot of dramas take place in hospitals, obviously, but I can't think of like a single sitcom that actually takes place in a hospital. I guess Scrubs counts, sort of, but that's really the only one I can think of. Which begs the question, why is AI convinced that there is nothing funnier than when humans are in the hospital? It seems like there might be some pretty terrifying implications there.
Dad, what's your opinion on abortion?
Why don't you ask your sister?
But I don't have a...
Whoa, this little AI sitcom is edgy as hell. Kind of like an edgelord AI we've got pumping these out. It wasn't even like a studio audience laughter sound at the end of that. It just zoomed in on the kid's face. Kind of a shocking, real moment for some reason.
You act like a detective too much. I want to split up.
Good idea. That way we can cover more ground.
Okay, watching this little snippet of a sitcom where it's like, you know, cheesy jokes, kind of a preppy guy wearing a Ralph Lauren polo tucked into his khakis, a kind of too hot woman with her hands on her hips. Like, I feel like this is what people who aren't white see when they watch Friends. Just some vaguely upper middle class people in an unrealistically saturated environment with no real problems and no real sense of humor. And I say that as a Friends fan.
Ever since I needed a wheelchair, she's been so rude to me. She's been pushing me around, talking behind my back, and I feel like I can't stand up to her.
So if I'm following this one correctly, the fun sitcom plot here is that this guy is in couples therapy because he feels like his wife treats him differently after he was confined to a wheelchair. Ha ha ha? Kinda like, damn, who taught AI about ableism? Okay, watching this I'm just thinking like, you know how people will do those like BuzzFeed style quizzes where it's like, which sitcom character are you? And people are like, I'm Samantha from Sex and the City. I'm Rachel from Friends. What if I chime in like, I'm the therapist in the AI sitcom about the guy who is confined to a wheelchair and his wife hates him for it. He's totally me. It's totally me. I won't let the machines manipulate me. I'm gonna do that about 45 more times before the video is over. Just prepare yourselves. Do you wanna know why? Because that's the kind of goofy, stupid joke that AI could never conceive of. Okay, so obviously in the macro, even though these AI sitcoms kind of seem similar to the real thing, I think it's kind of clear they still haven't worked out all of the kinks. Like, let me know if you notice anything odd about this next clip.
Hey, I just found out you've been invading my privacy.
What? How?
It's in your diary.
Did you see that? He phased through the couch. He phased through the couch and the scene just kept going and wasn't about that at all. Can you imagine if that happened in like a real sitcom? Can you imagine if like at one point in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will phased through a couch and Carlton just totally ignored it like it was no big deal? He's just like, nothing to comment on there, just Will using his insane phasing ability that we never bring up or talk about. Okay, so I would say that my number one takeaway from all these AI sitcoms is that that these aren't sitcoms. Like, sitcoms are situational comedy. Like, there's no situations here. And there's actually not even any real comedy arising from those situations. It's just a bunch of totally out of context jokes that kind of make sense. But part of why we even give them the benefit of the doubt is like, we know that like this is experimental new technology. If you saw like real human beings making these jokes, you would be like, why are the weirdest people of all time making some of the worst jokes I've ever heard? Which again is the reaction that people who aren't white do have to Friends, I have to say. But when it comes to like these AI sitcoms, it's like, okay, the jokes I guess kind of feel like sitcom jokes and the environments kind of feel like sitcom environments, but overall like these don't feel like sitcoms. Like watching these, it's like AI didn't make a bunch of sitcoms. AI made a bunch of 4 to 5 second clips that I guess could hypothetically be part of a larger sitcom, as long as you don't think about it too much. It's like, okay, let's go back to one of these. Let's go back to like one of these. I'll pick them at random.
We've had reports from your neighbors that your dog was chasing a kid on a bike.
That's ridiculous. My dog doesn't even know how to ride a bike.
It's like, okay, we've told that joke. Now what? How did we get to that joke? Who are these people? What happens after that joke? What story is that joke a small part of? There are no answers to any of these questions because these aren't sitcoms. Like again, back to the electrocution one. I joked about it, but like, no, for real, there is not a single sitcom where that scene would make sense. Not one. AI didn't make a sitcom. AI didn't even make a scene that could exist in a sitcom. AI just did something insane and weird, and then someone on TikTok captioned it, haha, AI's making sitcoms now. That was my impression of every guy on TikTok, including me. That's what I do on TikTok, and I love it. Also, you wanna know how I know that these aren't sitcoms? If I walked into NBC, which I'm sure I'll be doing any day now because my career is totally taking off. If I walked into NBC to pitch them a sitcom, and my pitch was this, like if I sat down with the head of NBC and I said, here's my idea for a sitcom. There's 2 guys we know nothing about, and one of them phases through the couch, and neither of them comment on it. End of pitch. They would throw me out of their office. If my whole pitch for a sitcom was like, a man is being electrocuted. We don't know him, we don't know the people electrocuting him, and no one seems to think it's a big deal. If that was my whole idea, I wouldn't have an idea. Also, like, okay, even if I wanted to accept the premise that AI can write good jokes, which I don't, because most of these jokes are not good, and they kind of veer between the nonsensical and the outright unsettling. But even if I did want to pretend that AI could write good jokes, the point of sitcoms, the reason people like them, is not the jokes. The point is like the emotional connection the audience has to the characters on screen because on some level you relate to them. Nobody's relating to any of these people here. Like the point is like sitcoms aren't just random jokes. Sitcoms are like Elaine making a joke to Jerry about Kramer. That makes sense because you know all their characters and you know their relationship to one another, and it reminds you of like characters in your own life and relationships you have with them. The exact same joke would then be meaningless if you put it into the mouth of, again, some like weirdly animated AI creatures that again look like something out of a video game cutscene. And you know, obviously have no soul, it goes without saying. So again, like the jokes aren't the point, and all of these AI sitcoms are really just one out of context joke, and then it cuts off and goes to another one hoping you don't think too much about it. Like they didn't even make the entire sitcoms, and if it did, who the fuck would want to watch that? Like out of these like little sitcom snippets, which one would you actually want to sit down and like watch the full version of? Like who would want to watch the continued adventures of the chipper bald guy who's getting executed? Or the chronicles of the random man who can phase through couches but nobody can ever mention it, including himself? Or the further adventures of the child who just realized his dad is pro-choice and weirdly doesn't seem to be on board with it? In all fairness, I might actually be interested in seeing some of those shows I just mentioned, but I would want real human beings writing them and directing them and acting in them. Because fundamentally, that's what art is, and especially comedy. Comedy is a purely emotional exercise. Like, laughter is as emotional as it gets, and that's something that I'm sorry AI can never do. And you might not think that's a funny end to this video, but let me ask you this. If that's not funny, then how come it's about to get a massive roar of laughter from a live studio audience? See? It must be funny. Like and subscribe.